The Philadelphia Eagles fall to the Dallas Cowboys 24-21, and that man is going to be under a lot of heat. He is going to get a ton of blame, and rightfully so. First and foremost, what do they have? 14 penalties. 14 music penalties. 14 penalties, that's insane. 14 penalties, their season high against their division rival, the Dallas Cowboys. They hung 21 points in a snap of the fingers, and then they just were like, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to move the chains. Besides that, like it was prod, like Jalen Hurts was doing everything he could. He threw for 289 yards and was the leading rusher. This is the other problem. Saquon Barkley 10 carries for 22. Tank Bigsby 1 carry for 8 yards. They gave Jalen Hurts 30 yards on the ground. 30 yards on the ground. That's brutal. I know this is a divisional game, and I talked about that going into this game. That div that the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys are like peak divisional game. But when you saw what they were able to do in that first half and then just see it become essentially non-existent, then you get the Saquon Barkley fumble, you get the punt return fumble, then very fortunate that gets turned over on downs. But then there was a couple huge plays that the Eagles had, like a pass to Dallas or to Devontae, and then gets called back because of whatever the exact call might be. An illegal formation or, whatever it may be that takes away devastating plays. And just Dak threw a couple interceptions that obviously he had the one real interception. But then there was a couple, like 2 or 3 opportunities for another interception and don't get it. And this was the thing. The Eagles turned the ball over. No fault of Jalen Hurts, because they always talk about Jalen Hurts not turn the ball over and how but then the other players turn the ball over, you lose the game, right? You don't turn the ball over in those situations, you win the game. That's how important turnovers are there. The Eagles should have had 0 turnovers. Cowboys should have had 2. Game over. But you turn the ball over, has devastating consequences. You can't run the ball, has devastating consequences, and you come away with a loss. Again, when you consistently have the tale of 2 halves, it is that it is on coaching and execution, without a doubt. When you have halves where you're absolutely crushing it, and then it just becomes non-existent. And trying to figure out, and again, I know the O-line is bagged up and there's problems there, but only being able to get 30 yards, because again, even just the 63, that's misleading because 33 of those yards came from Jalen. So you got 30 yards on 11 carries. It's like you're not going to win. You're just not going to win games, man, that way. You're just not. I don't know many teams with a box score where they're able to win doing that. Let's look at all the winners from this week. The Texans, 26 carries, 108 yards. Kansas City Chiefs, 41 carries, 148 yards. Again, even if you subtract the 30 from Mahomes, still got 140 from Kareem Hunt, 25 carries, 99 yards. New England Patriots, 31 carries, 107 yards. Baltimore Ravens, 34 carries, 98 yards. The Seattle Seahawks, 20 carries, 114 yards. You catching a pattern here. The Green Bay Packers, 42 carries, 146 yards. The Detroit Lions, 20 carries, yards. The Jacksonville Jaguars, 28 carries, 134 yards. Even the Cleveland Browns got 47 yards from their running back, from both. Their running backs gave them 70 yards combined. Then you got a couple negatives because of Shador and Ford and that. But 47 plus 23 plus the 4. So, and the Atlanta Falcons, last but not least, 29 carries for 121 yards, and both their running backs well over 100. And then you combine that with what the Eagles did, compare that to what the Eagles did. 18 carries, 63 yards. And again, Jalen Hurts the leading rusher. So really just 11 for 30. You're not going to win a game. You're just not. And figuring out how to get this run game going just anything like Tom Brady said on the broadcast. It's like should uh, Saquon is being met in the backfield just behind the line of scrimmage again and again and again and again. You had him in the passing game, 7 receptions for 52 yards. There's clearly the intention for that, right? Clearly. But it's so interesting because I think some of the best play calls that Kevin Patullo has been able to do, the best play calls and play designs have been to the tight ends, to Dallas and Calcara. There's clearly some sort of synergy there that Kevin Polo was comfortable with. So I'd love to see that be utilized more. C. Barkley is not the Christian McCaffrey type where you're like, okay, I love or I like to see him in the passing game as well and this or that. It's like it does. It's not it doesn't really transform this Philadelphia Eagles offense as much as it says as it does say Gibbs with the Lions or Christian McCaffrey with the 49ers. It just doesn't have that level of an effect. And so I just question then why in the passing game at least is Dallas and Calcaterra not fed the ball more, having 2 targets for Dallas. Again, obviously AJ Brown getting fed the ball. And when I say feed, I I mean that in a positive way because they've been saying, they're trying to feed AJ in a negative, and I don't mean it in the negative way, but 8 catches for on 10 targets, Devontae 6 for 11. The passing game wasn't the problem here, except for in the second half when they just seemingly couldn't do much. But again, they just were constantly taking runs that just go nowhere, right? I mean, there was just no production there, none. I'd love to see how many rushing first downs did they even have at that point. Yeah, they had 4, and a bunch of them were Jalen Hurts. So yeah, 5 for 12 on third down. No, fourth downs, 14 penalties. They were 3 for 3 in the red zone. Allowed the Cowboys in the red zone 5 times. I mean, yeah, I really think the strongest takeaway here is the penalties and the consistent inability to run the ball. And then the passing game is just either brilliant or non-existent. And I circle in big red marker coaching for that. The run game, you could say maybe just O-line issues. You could chalk that up to that, I suppose. But I mean, I would like to then see them at least try a little bit more of an innovative way to get the run game going. But even if you looked at the first half play calling, like some of the jet sweep to Devontae, like any of the other somewhat creative play calling that they had, it just becomes non-exist. Like it's either non-existent in the first half and it's all there in the second half, or it's or vice versa, right? Like there's no continuity in that. And that's just like a rhythm of the play calling at that point, or a lack of confidence. Like I don't know what it is. It's so hard to really put into words, honestly. But yeah, this was a game that the Philadelphia Eagles, without a shadow of a doubt, deserved to lose. When you have that many penalties, when you can't run the ball and you turn the ball over twice, like that's what's going to happen. Where the Eagles were even given a couple gifts, a Dak Prescott special with some pretty easy interceptions that they didn't come away with, as well as a missed field goal. And that was the other thing, obviously, with Jake Elliott missing the field goal, which obviously, ended up having devastating consequences. I think what was that, like a 54 4-yarder or something? I don't think I wrote down what it was. But yeah, I'm so fascinated to see what everyone's going to say about this now, because since the Eagles were able to come away with wins, if they won this game exactly how it unfolded, they would just be like, hey, they're winning. This is the way it goes. But now that they lose this game, now it becomes open season, right? Now it becomes, oh, they lost the game. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 39 times or whatever. And it's just like they can't run the ball, right? Like they literally can't run the ball. It has nothing to do with Jalen throwing the ball 39 times. If they could just get any type of production from their run game, that's going to have a huge impact. So yeah, We shall see. Um, but those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles losing to the Dallas Cowboys 24 to 21 in a great divisional game? I mean, we had fumbles that were then not fumbles and then go out of bounds. We got interceptions, we got missed field goals. This game, this game had a little bit of everything. Uh, Going up 21 nothing, then 24 unanswered points by the Dallas Cowboys. This like I said, man, the Cowboys and the Eagles, they very often answer the call for these divisional games. So a wild game, a great game, but a wild game. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun, and please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.